What's going on, everybody? It's the VG Bobster here, and we are ready to review 80s Overdrive on the Nintendo Switch. Totally tubular. Alright guys, if you guys like this review, make sure you hit the subscription button in the corner with the notification bell, and make sure you get all the Switch reviews coming down the pipe, and we got a lot of them coming up. But let's start with 80s Overdrive. This game is in the vein and an homage to the old school arcade racers like Outrunners from Sega. Who else loves that game? I did. It was one of my games I played so much in the arcades from childhood. It was such a good experience, and this game, I was hoping that it would scratch my Outrunners itch, but did it? Let's check it out now. Let's start off with the graphics, guys. First and foremost, the graphics in this game are amazing. They look so good. They nail the 80s aesthetic so much. I was blown away. Handheld mode, dock mode, it didn't matter. This game looked amazing. There are so many different environments. The cars look awesome. Everything about this game, the frame rate is nice and solid, 60 frames per second arcade racing. It just looks glorious, and obviously this is the best retro looking racer I think I've ever seen. They nailed the modernization but the mixture of the old school pixelated graphics together in such a great combination, and I give the developers 5 thumbs up for it. It was amazing, the graphics in this game. Let's go into the soundtrack. The second best thing about this game, it is an 80s music lover dream, this soundtrack. All the tracks, I think there's about 18 to 20 tracks in this game. They are awesome. They evoke the 80s nostalgia in my bones. I love it so much. The sound effects, you got the screeches, you got the engine revvings, you got the cops that are looking for you, you got all the lane changing, you know, the braking sounds, everything, all the sound effects, and they have just a little bit of nostalgia tint to them that they sound so fresh and clean setting. They are amazing, and I seriously would pay just for the soundtrack in this game. It's so good. So they nail the soundtrack and sound effects in this game. So let's go to the next thing, the gameplay in 80s Overdrive. This is where I had a little bit of a quarrel though. Again, the cars did control smooth enough, but I did have an issue with going left to right. A lot of times the cars that are, you know, racing against, not even really the racing cars, I'd say more so the bystander, like Cadillacs. They have big commercial construction trucks. They have you know, mini, you know, Volkswagen Beetles. These cars, they go left to right so quickly, and I'm trying to just move my controller and twitch with them, and it doesn't really work a lot of the times. A lot of times I would hit into the car because it went right into the left lane, and then even though I was in first, 5 cars would go right after I bumped, even just not even crashed into the car, just bumped into the car, they would go right through. So in terms of the gameplay, I feel like we could have used a little bit more fluidity in that. Even though the frame rate of the game was going great, it just felt like going left to right and reacting to the cars going into the different lanes just wasn't smooth enough for me to fully recommend it. I feel they could polish that a little bit. But other than that, I mean, the game was really fun. Now, in terms of mechanics in the game, I just want to point out really quickly, love the leveling system of the cars, where you can go in, you can either level the actual you know, performance of the cars, you can repair the car if you get hit during the campaign, if you run into something or bump into something, or you actually have to spend money on your gas as well. So it does kind of give you, you know, some nice strategic elements that weren't really available in other games. Most of the other games, sometimes when you're driving, you just pick up like gas icons and stuff. Here you have to actually spend your money accordingly and kind of plan and pick and choose how you want to upgrade. So I did like those mechanics. I also liked in the beginning when I first started, when I lost the first 2 races, they actually have a really fun option to wash your car to get money. to enter into the next race. So that was really funny, and I really liked that. It was a nice little touch, but I had to mention it because it was really great, and it just made the game make me laugh when I was playing the game. So the next thing, let's go into my biggest gripe about this game. Now again, I know everybody's gonna say, but John, it says in the eShop it's a single player game. Why are you expecting multiplayer? Because it's a retro inspired racing game. That made these games so fun to play locally. Even just locally, I wasn't even looking for online. I just wanted local multiplayer. This would have brought the replayability of this game through the roof because it looks so good and it performs so good. Even just a 2-player split screen would have made this game infinitely more valuable in my opinion. So that was a huge omission that I wish that they would have put in, and I hope in the next one, the 80s Overdrive Part 2, they'll add this in because it would add so much replayability to the game. And also in terms of replayability, the campaign itself, I mean, I'd say it's pretty fair amount. It's like 5 to 6 hours to beat the game. You can unlock all like the highest racing car probably like halfway through the campaign. So the only problem with that though is that I couldn't really, after that, I didn't really see any incentive to go back and replay the career mode. So I think maybe having a couple more cars or spreading the upgrades out so you don't get the fastest cars quickly through the campaign would have maybe, added a little more length to it and made you want to like go back. A time trial mode, that's the other mode in the game, so you can race against your scores. This is obviously a huge thing that retro racing games used to do. Race against the clock, beat your own scores. Now another thing that is missing in this game, again, alright, you don't want to have multiplayer, that's fine, but where are my online leaderboards? I mean, I race through a track, I want to beat some of my other people that are playing the game. I want to say, hey, I'm faster than you, sucker, but I couldn't even do that. I could only show a screen share. I would have liked to have some leaderboards in this game. I think, again, for all retro inspired games, if you're not going to do multiplayer, at least do an online leaderboard. Note to developers here, because it just adds a little bit more tension, a little bit more replayability, a little bit more about the bragging rights, you're popping my collar. It would have just added a little bit more to this game that it could have used. So I also got to mention, the track editor is a really cool feature, and that does add a little bit of replayability. You can go into all the different tracks, you can kind of tweak them a little bit. It was a nice touch to add in that track editor as well, in addition to the career and the time trial mode. Overall, guys, I'm going to give 80s Overdrive a 3 out of 5 fedoras from the VG Mobster here. I really enjoyed the look of the game. I really enjoyed the sound effects. I love the soundtrack. Thought the controls were pretty solid, but could have used a little bit more fluidity left and right. But the things I couldn't take, the lack of the multiplayer, the lack of the online leaderboards. I feel like those are such missed opportunities in this game. So, what did you guys think about 80s Overdrive? Did you like the campaign? Do you think it was enough? Did you like racing with the cars? Do you agree with me that the game is gorgeous? Did it give you those Outrunner vibes that it gave me? Let me know, guys, in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell for more videos from the VG Mobster, alright?